What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Digimon Adventure 2, The Beginning. Yes, the latest Digimon film out for a 2-day brief release in the United States after recently being released over in Japan. This is the latest Digimon movie and the first one since Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna came out back in 2020. And Adventure 2, The Beginning, of course, this is a notable drop for the Digimon franchise because this is the purported, final film, final entry for the cast of Digimon Adventure 2. Of course, the second Digimon series, the sequel-ish series to the original Digimon franchise. Last Evolution Kizuna, that film was the final iteration for that original Adventure 1 cast. So the two, most hyped, I think, character sets for the Digimon franchise, recently celebrating its 20th anniversary. It's the final go with the OG characters, basically, is how this is positioned. Of course, Digimon, a franchise that I think has endured in a really interesting way between really TV, the occasional movie, and then kind of underrated steady supply of video games as well. The Digimon franchise, by no means the biggest blockbuster anime franchise. Of course, we know there's another Mon franchise out there that is bigger in just about every way. Nonetheless, I've always had a lot of nostalgia for Digimon because, like Pokemon, I very quickly became invested in Digimon, and I have really fond memories of watching the series, weekly after school and just kind of getting absorbed into that storytelling, into that lore. And Adventure 1, Adventure 2, as well as the third series, Digimon Tamers especially, those three really I have a nostalgic place in my heart for. So, I think new Digimon movies coming out, continuing the story, has always interested me. And it was kind of disappointing that the first kind of revival of the original cast, the 6-film series Digimon Adventure Try, that they started back in 2015, that was a pretty resounding disappointment. And that was, kind of leaving a bland taste in the mouth, I think, of the Digimon faithful. But Last Evolution Kizuna, that one came out, and honestly, that blew me away. I think that is up there with Digimon Tamers as some of the most profound and effective Digimon storytelling, and really a shining example of why Digimon is a celebrated franchise, because there's a lot of intelligence and a lot of thematic depth to an anime series created for children. And I think that's why a lot of people still really ride for Digimon, where it is, I'll just say it's a better anime in every way than Pokemon ever was, even if Pokemon overall has surpassed it. And I'm a big Pokemon fan, but I'll gladly admit that. Last Evolution Kizuna was a really meaningful conclusion to the Adventure 1 story, and I think a really fitting and touching grace note, really satisfying for fans, really doing right by the characters, primarily Tai and Matt, the two lead protagonists. But again, just being mature and growing up as its characters in story were growing up. It's a really, I think, impressive thing to get from a franchise like this, to kind of evolve and mature for its 20th anniversary with its final send off for its original characters. I think it was really well done. I was hoping that Digimon Adventure 2 The Beginning would give you this same sense of feeling for the Adventure 2 cast. Unfortunately, I gotta say, Adventure 2 The Beginning is a gigantic letdown, and it's primarily because it doesn't do what Last Evolution Kizuna did. It doesn't really come across as a grace note for this cast. It does not come across as a final send-off, even though it purportedly still is that. I think the biggest sin with Adventure 2 The Beginning is that we just spend so much time with a character we just met. And Digimon has done this in the past with some of its other movies, introducing new characters that have a big part in the story. But you can't do that with what's supposed to be the send-off movie for the OGs. Davis and Ken and Cody and the squad, they are supporting characters to this new character, Louie. And that choice just seems like a fundamental mistake, unless this is not, in fact, the final send-off movie. But I still feel like it kind of is. And it's a kind of baffling mistake because Adventure 2 The Beginning is directed by Tomohisa Taguchi and written by Akatsuki Yamatoya. Those are the same writer and director as Last Evolution Kizuna. So they knew how great their last effort was, and they heard all the plaudits, I'm sure. So I'm just kind of baffled at why they thought this was like a good thing to do. It introduces some interesting lore elements that I don't think break anything with lore by any means, but it's definitely compelling and interesting. And Digimon has always been, I think, a storytelling franchise that has played a little fast and loose with its lore and canon, not afraid to kind of switch up interpretations of things. Not a problem. But I just think that the fundamental choice is spending all this time with this new character, and having everything the OG cast does in direct service to this new character just was a mistake to me. And I just wanted more time with the OG crew. And not that there's not good stuff about this time we spend with Louis. It's a lot of the stuff we celebrate with Digimon, mature themes. In this case, I think trauma and loneliness. I mean, there's literal child abuse in this movie when we flash back to Louis as a young boy. Ukamon, his Digimon partner. When Ukamon dies, it's like straight up body horror. There's some darkness to Adventure 2: The Beginning, which again I celebrate. But God, I was just so let down by the lack of time we spent with the OG crew. I just thought it was, I thought it was a big letdown. In terms of the lore, like having Louis be the first Digidestin, the first human to have a Digimon partner. Interesting thought, right? Then Ukamon's like ability to like grant wishes and like keep the partner happy, having that kind of be the inciting incident that led to the creation of the phenomena of Digidestin and humans having Digimon partners. Interesting, right? Like we never really thought of like the inciting reason for what happened to our original cast. I don't think it definitely doesn't change anything with how you appreciate or think about that cast, but it's kind of like a, origin, as the title suggests, the beginning of the Digimon storytelling. But like that's not what I was really hyped to spend time with the final moments with the Adventure 2 cast, So it's like a intriguing idea for a Digimon movie, but just not the idea that you should have done for the send-off movie. It's a kind of baffling mistake to me. It's cool that like there's not a whole lot of like action in this. We get a lot of evolutions, even some DNA digivolving. All that's fun, and I think the animation is pretty cool. Although I think last Evolution Kizuna had a more artistic like flair to its animation. I think that's a little better looking, but this one still looks very good, of course. And obviously Digimon's come such a long way from an animation quality standpoint. It's cool that there's not a lot of time spent with action. Like I don't watch Digimon for the action or for the battling per se. So that was a nice choice as well. One note I just gotta say is I don't think I realized this because I watched Digimon first, but the voice actor who voices Davis with the English dub, Brian Donovan, the established voice actor, he is also the voice of Rock Lee in Naruto, again, the English dub. And I never put that together before. But watching Adventure 2: The Beginning, Davis just sounded like Rock Lee the entire time. Like the performance is like identical. And that was just kind of funny to me. I didn't really realize that going in. Not that it's bad voice acting, it's certainly good voice acting, but it's just funny that like I was just thinking of Rock Lee the whole time. Ultimately, I think this is just kind of what we think about with Digimon, right? You had Adventure Try, something with so much potential that really just underwhelmed due to like a lack of, I think, compelling consistency. You had Last Evolution Kizuna in the pantheon of Digimon storytelling. Then you have the Digimon reboot series, basically just a reboot or redo of Adventure 1. And that has been celebrated for its animation, but also viewed as a letdown. I think Adventure 2: The Beginning people were feeling was going to be another step in the positive direction. And again, there's not good things about this, but I think the choices just don't feel great for a fan, even if it's a perfectly fine time. So I would love to spend more time with the Adventure 2 cast following this if it hasn't been obvious. But now I will put all my eggs in the basket of let's get one final film for Digimon Tamers. Digimon Tamers, the best Digimon form of storytelling, the shining example of why it's such a mature and impressive anime when the storytelling's done right. A final send-off for that core trio. I think why that show was so great, partially because it was a small cast. Like, oh man, if they could do a Last Evolution Kizuna movie for the Digimon Tamers crew, man, now we're talking. Now I'm not sure if you'd have Konaka involved. Of course, we know Hosada has been uninvolved with Digimon for some time. Nonetheless, that would be compelling to me. But otherwise, I think path forward, they can just find like a way to keep an ongoing series going. I know they just recently had Digimon Ghost game, but if they could get like a consistent series going that maybe is inspired by the OGs, but obviously completely independent. I don't know. Digimon has a lot of paths that it can go down. I think that's what's kind of fun about it too. It's the faithful. So honestly, hard to predict what will happen. But let me know, how are you feeling about Digimon Adventure 2, the beginning? Did you find it a big letdown like me? If not, please tell me why you liked it. I'd love to know. And for more anime reviews, more TV reviews, movie reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.